this is Chogokin here to do a review for a robot that is actually a very important piece of Chogokin history. What I'm talking about is the Popy Mazinger Z, the GA-01, which is actually the first Chogokin to kick off the entire craze of diecast robots. I have with me here today a GA-01. Alright, now before you guys get all crazy, this isn't actually a real full-blown original GA-01. This is actually a reissue by Banpresto, done back in 1999, that required you to send in coupons, I believe from buying games, video games. I think it was 5 games that you would cut the proof of purchase out or whatever, send it in, and they would send you this right here, which I'll show you guys a little bit closer in just a moment. So basically the history behind the very first one is back sometime in 1972, and I would like to thank Josh from Collection DX for doing a review on this. I'll have the link below so you guys can check out the written review. But I got a lot of the info from Collection DX. But back in around 1972, Popy was making little die-cast vehicles from shows like Masked Rider and stuff like that, and they're pretty successful. Now, somewhere around that time, they also got the license to do the Mazinger Z robot, which was based on a manga back then. And you know, as you guys might know, they made those big, gigantic 24-inch that a lot of us around my age grew up with. I unfortunately didn't have any of those as a kid. I just knew people with them. But yeah, so they made the big Mazinger Zs. They did the Raidens. They did a bunch of different things. I have a Deimos actually now. It's the only original Shogun Warrior that I have. You guys might have known them as Shogun Warriors or Jumbo Machiners as they were known in Japan actually. That's the real name for them. Those pretty much defined the size. They were made out of polyethylene plastic, very sort of lightweight, especially for their size, but you know, a little bit of heft to them. But what was going to actually represent the super alloy or Chogokin, which literally means super alloy. What were they going to use to represent the metal that these robots were made out of? Obviously making a 24-inch tall die-cast metal robot was not going to happen. So what Popy did is they made little robots out of die-cast. The first one, GA-01. Again, this is the reissue, but this is what kicked off the line and started an amazing craze which led to all this crap back here. So after the success of Jumbos, which represented the size of these robots, there was something that needed to be done to represent the weight. So lead designer Katsuhisa Murakami was brought in to try and figure out what to do. The result was the Chogokin Mazinger Z GA-01, of which I'm holding a reissue here. Just going to let you check out the box here for a moment. Pretty nice. As you can see, it is rather small. I was kind of surprised when I did get it. I was expecting something a little bit bigger, but this is what you get. This little simple box. I believe this is based off the original box. I'm not too sure, but that'll give you an idea of what you may have seen as a kid back when this came out. It's got the Popy logos everywhere. Again, this had to, for you to be able to get this, you had to send in some coupons in the mail. The original you would just buy in a store, but the reissue you had to send in coupons, as this was a prize item. Now what we'll do is go ahead and open this for you guys here so you guys can check it out. Unlike newer releases of Chogokin, this came not in styrofoam but in regular foam here. Alright, just like that. And the figure came nestled right in there. The fist didn't actually come on the figure. I've already pre-installed them, but you can see it's a simple design of Mazinger Z. Look at it all the way around. Oh, I just fired a fist there, but you can see the buttons back here are also for another firing mechanism, which I'll show you guys in a moment. And the actual shoulder buttons up here will shoot the fists. All right, and you can see one of the fists has already fired. The figure is overall just almost completely made out of die cast, except for the head and the chest and little red bits here, which would be the plastic buttons. Now, like I mentioned a couple times before, this is a reissue. All right, so to make the reissue, you would have to look to the molds to be able to make them. However, the original molds were long deteriorated. So what Banpresto did before they can actually release this is to look for mint specimens to be able to make the molds. They eventually found one from somebody called Koji Igarashi, who is the author of Green Arrow Graffiti. All right, and then another one for Kazunori Saito. He's a legendary collector and publisher of several guidebooks, according to Collection DX. Now, they were able to get the figures over to Banpresto so they can make a reissue of this. And as you can see, they did a pretty good job. They even have the markings down here. So what we're going to do now is actually take a look at this up close. And here's the setup close. You'll see, obviously, the figure there, the little box it came in, little foam in the back. It does come with an instruction little sheet here in Japanese. I believe this is a straight copy of the original. Complete with strange little drawings there. It probably says "shoot happy fists," like all the foreign toys say. And it's got a little baggie full of the fists, which I have on. Well, not full, it's got a pair of each. It's got the regular fists and it's got the iron cutter fists. And then it has Titty Missiles right in there, as you can see. Alright, I don't know how many missiles it's supposed to come with. This one came with 5. It might be missing one. I'm not sure. Really not sure how many it's supposed to come with. If anybody knows, please let me know. Alright, so yeah, so let's take a look at the figure. Like I said, up close. It's die cast, like I said, almost everything except the head and the chest plate, which is plastic, the fists. Otherwise, everything's die cast. Now, I'm not sure if the figure came with stickers that you had to apply on your own. I know there's a black version of this, and I think it does have a sticker sheet you have to apply. I'm not sure if this was. It looks like someone tried to apply it and then maybe peel it because the sticker's a little bit wrinkled, or that was done from the factory. Although I do believe it did come with a sticker sheet to put on. Alright, now that I've shown you the little baggie full of gimmicks, we're actually going to go ahead and test it out. We'll bring the arm up and just press the button right here. You'll see it shoots nice. Maybe not too far, not too powerful, but it does shoot. And now we're going to check out the Titty Missiles. So let me just grab a couple from this little baggie here. All right, and it's very simple enough. Just grab 2 missiles. Now these are probably not good for kids. This would definitely injure an eye somewhat and definitely choke somebody. This could get lodged in a kid's throat. But back then, it wasn't a big deal. I guess kids weren't that stupid. Let's see. Pop this off. Put a little titty missile in. There you go. It doesn't stick out as far as I thought it would. It's pretty much 2 little nipples going on right there. And then just press the button on the back. And those aren't powerful at all. Let's try that again. That one was a little more powerful. But yeah, that's the titty firing feature. And I'll go ahead and show you guys, since the fists are off, what he looks like with the iron cutters. So pop that one on. And we'll pop this one on. There you go. So I might as well shoot one of these at least, let you guys see what the iron cutter looks like flying out of his forearm. Alright, let's try that. Oh, not strong at all. Let's try this one now. Nope. So pretty weak firing fist gimmicks, rocket punch, but just a really interesting figure. If you're going to look for one of these, be prepared to pay a good amount. I'm not talking hundreds, but maybe over 100. This example, with a pretty beat up box, I had to hunt down for a while, so I was willing to pay a little more than I wanted to. But I'm sure they'll pop up once in a while if you guys are looking for them. Unfortunately, this one has a little bit of a paint defect going on there. I don't know if it's cracked paint. You can kind of see that, kind of feel it there. But yeah, overall very cool. And actually, I was almost going to end the video, but I do want to do a scale comparison. So this is the, let me put the fists on, just get it looking right. So this was the first Chogokin. This is a representation of the very first one that came out. Now there were different versions. There was a lot of things wrong, I think, with the chest firing gimmick and pieces of plastic breaking, something like that, that they had to do some revisions. There was actually a total of 4 revisions for this figure. The 5th version of this figure, which I think was still labeled the GA-01, is this one right here. Vastly improved, little more detailed. Actually came with a scrander. Also had a firing gimmick, except the firing gimmick is now located right here. The little button is right here. So they did that change. Instead of having them in the shoulder, now they're in the what do you call it, the bicep here. So that's a little small change there. And aside from the chest there, you'll see the missiles are ready to go on this guy. There's no need to fold this down at all. All right, you can see the size difference there. Head's a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter overall, and the scrander. All right, now that's how he compares to the 5th version of him there. We'll go ahead and show you the GT-00, which is another reissue or replica or miniature replica, not necessarily reissue, because you'll see it's a small scaled down version of the GA-01. This is the GT-00 of the Chogokin line, the THE Chogokin line. And it's actually a pretty cool version of that. It's always nice to have that. And something a little more modern here. One of the most popular Mazinger Z's out there is the Super Robot Chogokin. So we'll see how that compares to this right there. It is shorter than the Super Robot Chogokin. And then I got one more, an actual GX-45 Chogokin. I say actual as if it's very rare, but you know, one of the more popular lines is a GX line. And this is the GX-45. All right. So get that. Let me just move the camera up, and that's how he scales to a GX-45 Mazinger Z. So that's pretty much going to wrap up our review here today, guys, of the GA-01 reissue from Banpresto. If you like this robot, or if you like titty firing robots, you may want to stay tuned. I'm trying to do a show with one of my good friends who's a collector of action figures, but I wanted to get a show together about titty firing robots. So stay tuned for that at some point. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, guys. Until next time, bye-bye.